Let's move on to the second training. And this is self-filming versus pro-filming. So let me just read this from the email that I sent. Do you look online like the impact coach you believe you are? It's significant that so many teachers, coaches, and content creators present themselves on Zoom quite haphazardly, especially when there are very easy solves to exponentially improve how you look and sound to your clients. And whatever happened to professional videos? Are people still getting those? So there are indeed a place for this, for those as well. And let me go ahead and share about self-filming and also when to go to a professional video person. I hope everybody's having a good time. This training, again, it's part of an opportunity to connect with One Field Live. And it's going to be something, it's going to be an example of many of the things that will be populating this online community that we're creating. And please take a look at our Kickstarter. It's on the page, it's on the link. And there's a lot of ways to really use our live platform to absolutely launch yourself in ways you've never imagined before. Now let's talk about self-filming. My goodness. So look at how I'm filmed. Look at my frame right now. You notice that I'm centered like this. There's a little bit of headroom over me, and I've got a nice natural lighting right here. And right on this side, there's a little shading on my face. Now I've done almost nothing. This is actually not how I would coach my clients to present themselves, because I'm actually more of a behind the scenes guy. Now, if you look over here, here we go. This is often how let me see if I can highlight this guy for you. Oh, I can't really do that. We don't have enough people. I would have to, I'd have to switch my camera. Let's see if I. Hello, everybody. So on this camera, we have a different background, and this is more my tech background, but let's go back. The camera A. And if you look at my background, you notice that nothing is really coming out of my head. I mean, I have a deep background on this side, and I have a little shallow background with just some kind of professional elements which are my little certifications and diplomas. Now, how do people get that blurry effect without using that terrible Zoom automatic blur background that is something that makes my head spin? Or people disappear into it, and they just use it for simple reasons of privacy usually. They don't want people seeing what their home looks like. But the thing is, they vanish into it, their arms go away, it's all fuzzy, and it's unpleasant, and it's certainly unprofessional, in my opinion. And there's a very easy way that you can create a blurred background in a very professional way. And my goodness, it's a lot of fun. I'm not going to show you it in action because I don't have it. And the reason I don't have it, well, I can't see my phone. I have an older phone. So to use this technique I'm going to be sharing with you, you want to have a phone that is a little of a later model. And then the app that you're going to be using is called Camo. And what Camo does is it allows you to use your phone as a very high quality webcam. And not only is it a high quality webcam, but here's the thing. It actually will, with a single setting, blur your background, and you can control the amount of blur. So you can just do a small amount of blur. And best of all, it's not that terrible blur that actually will, that Zoom does as kind of a default. It looks really good. However, if you really want to go like a bridge further, this is something that I direct my clients to. If you have a little bit of money to spend and you want that beautiful, incredibly high definition face, and you want, it's called a bokeh effect, the blurred background that's in your, that's the kind of, looks very filmic. You get a DSLR camera, see if you can get one used, and you get a little connector that goes into your computer, and that is your webcam. Now, what about webcams themselves? How often do we use them? Now, a few things about webcams, and also I'll talk a little bit about microphones and a little bit about lighting. Let's make sure we're on time. I want to give a little extra space to this training because this is something a lot of people are interested in. So we'll continue on with cameras, and with webcams. One thing about webcams is often they come with an inside camera. an inside microphone. In other words, there's a microphone within this webcam. Now, I don't suggest using that microphone. What I do suggest are using some of the other like USB microphones that are specific for audio. This little guy right here is what I'm using now, and it's called a Tula mic. And I use it also because it has a revolutionary technology that actually takes away the background. So when I record in my studio, I can use this to take away any background ambient noises, like of traffic or something. It won't filter out it makes a clicking noise. If I put it on the ground, let's learn from that little thing. Listen to this. You may have heard a clicking noise. Be aware that anytime you hit or make a rustling noise or anything like that, that makes a very loud noise on Zoom. So this is a little bit of a digression into audio, but because we just experienced it, I'm just going to address it. Be very aware that you don't hit the microphone or make little noises. But anyway, speaking again, with webcams, sometimes they have the little audio, and that audio will kind of hijack your audio. It might make itself the default audio. So I don't want to go too much into Zoom meetings and how to choose microphones, but in pretty much anything that you're filming yourself with, any Zoom meeting, any type of online filming you're doing, there will be an opportunity to choose your camera and your microphone. You always want to look into that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how to self-film using the software on your computer at the very last thing after I talk about mics and audio. But just be aware that if you're using a webcam, it may hijack your audio, and that may be the audio that's being played. So what you want to do is another I don't have it here, but another microphone I recommend is the Tula mic, Nope, that's the Tula mic. No, it's the I spaced on the name of it. There's a microphone. If I stop thinking about it, I'll remember it and I'll tell you what it is. But it's a mic that just sits on the desk, and it's a beautiful USB mic, and it's driving me crazy. Let's go get it. Here it is, Yeti, not Tula, Yeti. It was worth the trip. I love these guys. Now this guy's broken. It fell on the floor. But this is a Yeti Blue. Highly recommend this microphone. Now, one little bit of information. If you're the kind of person when you're creating your online videos who moves around and it goes back here and plays with your flash paper. You may want like a little a microphone that fits on your ear, that if you move around in things, it will follow you if you're going to be moving around your environment. I have a client who goes back and uses a chalkboard. He's old school. So if you move with this and you go back, you're not going to be able to hear yourself. You should always be self-filming, even when you're giving a live workshop or a live Zoom event. You should be recording like you're actually going to be using these in a training. You should be making professional level recordings. So with webcams, the final word I'll say on webcams is, people often ask me, oh, what do you recommend to buy for your microphones, for your webcams? And I'll say the same thing, because the market is always changing. It's in a month, my answer will be different. And I'm not going to spend all my time researching which are the best equipments to use every single month. I'm going to do it when I need to buy something. So Google it. And when you're Googling solutions for which webcams to use, and remember, we have our own really high quality webcam that you can use with the camo. Let me put that in the the Facebook camo software. There we go. That's the name of the software that will allow you to bring your camera on, which is usually a much higher, better camera than a webcam, even a webcam is at this point, and give you that nice blurred effect. And it does a lot of other things too. It even does light editing, I believe, this wonderful little software. But for webcams, just look online and just be aware also that webcams have their own internal instructions. There's software that comes with them where you can change the color of your skin. You can actually control the focus. Otherwise, one thing to keep aware of, especially when you're setting your background, is most things are on auto. In other words, it's auto exposure, it's auto focus. So if you've got a window behind you, it's going to make you dark. That's why sometimes you're in dark environments. I mean, you want to really come across as a professional. People believe, and it's true, we really see powerful coaches and they still have really lousy, professional looks to them. Often the power of their performance overrides, the tech. And of course, it's the primary thing. People are going there to hear their wisdom, but my goodness, it's so easy to really just create environments that are professional looking and look great. And so I like practical backgrounds. Let's just move into lighting and backgrounds. And I like to see actual things behind me. I think it looks more natural. It's got a better feel to it. And with lighting, I always try to light with what is in my environment at the present time. Like in front of me, I'm being lit entirely by a beautiful skylight window. It's natural lighting. It looks great. But if you're lighting with natural lighting and you're doing a longer event or a series of events, that lighting is going to change day by day, or even as the weather changes. And so if you're going to be doing something, you're going to be self-filming for longer periods of time, you want to arrange the practical lighting in your house, lamps or any type of lighting, or just Google again the wonderful selection of professional lighting that you can actually use, which I always recommend. If you're going cheap, you can maybe find some practical lighting. If you do practical lighting, and practical lighting is just whatever you have in your house, try that. It's usually not the best. It's usually not the best option, but sometimes it has some really wonderful Like I have a Chinese lantern here that's actually better than a lot of the professional lights. Just the paper globe that you put over the wet, like a bulb. However, if you do, you can find a lot of wonderful professional lighting that you can kind of put right on your side. And then you just play with it. You turn your camera on and you see yourself and you just do your adjustments. And then you make a little reference guide. You write down the settings of this. You see how everything is behind you. And you make sure you have a reference guide so that all the self-filming you do will have continuity to it. That all the lighting will look the same. So if you edit an online course together, you're self-filming, it's all going to look alike and it's all going to sound alike. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to keep moving on because we want to get to our final thing. That's all I'm going to say about lighting and background. Let's talk a little bit about audio. There are a lot of both internal and external settings depending on the device you're using. You want to have it all continual. Like if you're speaking on Zoom, there are levels that you want to pull. And you want your audio, and one way to test how your audio is sounding, if you're doing this alone, if you're just flying solo, is you bring in a second device, you log that in to whatever room you're doing, and you make sure that the microphones aren't echoing each other by muting one thing. And then you play a little, you speak a little bit, and you listen on the headphones and hear the level. But the best thing to do is to get somebody else to help you with that. Now, we've spoken a lot about microphones. Let's talk a little bit about actually how do you film yourself? How do you record yourself onto your desktop? And the way to do this is with QuickTime. I'm going to show you this. Here's my messy desktop. And let's hide everything here. Now, everybody has this on, oh, my thing is obscuring. Everybody has this on their computer is the QuickTime player. Or the equivalent in a PC. But everybody has these little video players. And what you want to do is you start it and you go new movie recording. And you will have this pull up. Hello. And this is your recording device. This produces files. And this is a better way to record than getting Zoom recordings. Now, that's very important. It's a big piece of information. This is a better way to record than making Zoom recordings. So you simply go down like this, and the first thing you want to do is set your quality. Now, maximum is the best thing for the best quality, but it's going to produce very large file sizes. High quality is still pretty good. Then, of course, you want to choose the correct microphone that you want to use and the camera. You go ahead and record it yourself. Hello, hello. You stop the recording. It's going to say untitled, and you just go ahead and save this guy. Save me, guide it to where you want it to go. Save. There's a me movie that already exists. That is fascinating. And that's how you self-record. And again, that is a better way than getting Zoom records. And if it's too big a file, you can also use a little thing called Handbrake to convert that file. So I've given you a lot of information, but this is a limited amount of time, and we want to get to our third topic. So I'm kind of scratching the surface, and this final thing that I want to share in. Let me see exactly how I have it worded on my. Oh, we didn't talk about pro filming. Heart-centered listening, online, deep listening to those you serve. Oh, that's a good topic. So, for pro filming, if you're creating something for like your website, building an online course, you can go with self-filming or professional filming. It depends on the caliber of your audience and how you want to present yourself. I just recently did a an online course or a series of videos for a company that is specific to corporate clients. And they wanted a little notch above self-filming. So they came to my studio. I filmed them on a green screen. We were able to key in a background. I also can shoot people with a practical background, but the real choice of when to self-film and when to get professional filming is really about how you want to, first of all, your budget. And one thing I'll just share some inside knowledge about is you can get things filmed and edited a lot cheaper than you can in the past because of the prevalence of self-filming. That's just the way the market is right now. I went to UCLA Film School and I'm editing for very small prices and filming for very small prices because that's who I'm competing with and I want to be competitive. But I do a better job than all of them anyway because I'm more experienced. But if you are putting something up on your website or creating a online course that you're charging a little bit of money for, it's significant to make the decision to self-film.